Hey everybody, welcome back to another 6-Minute Salesforce. I'm RJ from System.debug, and today we're going to be doing a little bit deeper dive into Git. So we've already gone over the Git push, the Git clone, the Git status, and the Git commit. So now we're going to look at some other stuff, and to simulate another user adding files, what we're going to do is we're going to do, first thing actually, we're going to create a new branch. We're going to call this test branch. The idea behind branches is when you're working with other people on your team, essentially, or maybe you've got your own repo and you've just got a couple of people helping you out with it. What you want to do is when there's a feature that needs to be created, or a bug that needs to be squashed, or a chore that needs to get done, you really want to go dig down and build a branch for it. And it's not really that hard because you jump in here, you jump into this UI, you type in the name for the branch, and you hit go, as I'll show you in a second. But you want to separate the concerns there, where if this feature doesn't work, you don't have to worry about it. It's not in your master branch. Master should always be production ready. And that's kind of what we do just as a standard. So right now we're going to create this test branch, and it just creates an exact duplicate of our branch. So you can say branch is even with master right here. And that's perfect. It just made a clone of our master branch. So I'm going to create a new file. And we're going to do a couple things after this. Test file.txt. This is a test file created by Fred. Old Fred. And right here, it's going to give us this default commit message for free. So we're going to commit the new file. Nice and easy. Boom. Create test file. So now the test file is there and we can see it, and we're in our test branch. So we got to look here. Git status. Branch is up to date with origin master. That means we're on master right now. So what do we do now? Right? We are looking and we have this branch on this side. So the left side is our local and the right side is our cloud. Left side, local, we'll try to see, let's see what happens if we do a git fetch. We're just going to pull all the changes. Oh, there we go. See that new branch popped up? And then we're going to do a git pull. And if you guys were gamblers, you should have bet that test file wouldn't show up there, and it did not, because we're not on the right branch. So now we're on master. We don't want to be on master. We want to git checkout test branch. And now it's pulled everything down. See, we don't even have to do a git pull because it's already up to date. So now we have the test file there, which is great. What we want to do now is we're going to make a series of changes that are going to be in separate commits, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I've shown you guys how to change from master to a branch. I showed you guys how to do a git fetch, which, just in case anyone's wondering, the difference between a git fetch and a git pull. Git fetch will pull down all the changes that have happened to the repo, but it will not pull down actual files. It just pulls down if you've added branches or if commits have happened. It'll pull down those into the git logs and things like that. Git pull itself actually pulls the files down. So we're going to touch two files. Touch is just a command to make empty files. Touch, and we'll call this admin.txt, right? Maybe it's a file about our admins, or something like that, or a note to our admins. And that popped up, and then we're going to do touch index.html. So now we've just got an HTML page there. It's all blank, no big deal. So what we want to do is add all these things, and also let's modify our test file, right? So nano test file. So this is a test file created by Fred, right? And it was edited by RJ. Oh, yep. Control X to get out of there. So now we've edited that guy, and we've added two, right? So git add test file, git commit dash m, because I want to write a message, and made some simple changes to the test file.txt. Easy. Git add admin, git commit m, added admin.txt to store names and emails of all admins. And we want to be verbose with our commits like this. We want people to understand what's going on here. And then git add index, git commit dash m, added blank index.html file, because that's all we did. And now we're going to git push. And since we're on our branch, we'll notice over here that all these things have happened on our branch. And if we go back and if we look at master, we can see that none of that stuff has happened on master, which is great. That's exactly what we want. We want to separate these things. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a new pull request. And we're just going to create a pull request. Very simple. Usually you put a lot of comments here, tag some reviewers, put some labels on here, put some projects, milestones maybe, assign people, things like that. But we're just going to merge this up into master. So we're going to create a pull request. And this is a huge no-no, but see, CI hasn't been set up, don't worry about that. But we're going to merge this pull request ourselves, which again, big no-no. But we're going to hit merge pull request so we can see what happens. Confirm merge, sure. And now we have the option to delete the branch. Don't worry so much about that right now, because sometimes you'll keep the branch, sometimes you'll delete it. I'm just going to delete it. And then we'll go back to our code. And we'll notice we're in branch master, but everything's there. And it has all of our commits too, which is great. And that is the entire flow that you're going to want to go through for every single feature, for every single bug. It's not as hefty as you think it might be. It looks pretty big for what this is now, but when people have to go through code and make sure everything's good, you want to see those PRs. You want to be merging things like that. You want your senior and your leads to be running through this code and checking it and checking it and checking it and making sure and then merging it in later on. And if you are the senior or the lead for your team, this is the flow that you want to be going through, or something very similar to this. This is just a light version of it. Anyway, I know we ran long. I'm sorry about that, but we crammed a lot of information into here. So rewatch this if you have to, maybe a couple dozen times even. And I'll see you next time on 6 Minute Salesforce.